Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you guys are doing well out there. Sorry, we are a day late. Yesterday, I had both OT and physical therapy at like 4 and 5 o'clock. So it got scheduled that way, and so that was right at the same time slot that we were supposed to do the podcast. So I asked everybody, hey, are you guys able to make it? Can we push it back until Wednesday? And so graciously, everybody was available to do it today. So we did. We shifted it to Wednesday. And so here we are. And we're going to do the live recap on the Paul Vecchiet episode that came out last week. We've also got some upcoming stuff to talk about, which is always a lot of fun. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Mary and Sherry up on stage, and we are going to get rolling. There's Sherry and Sherry's proxy.
Hey everyone. Hey Mary.
Hey Sherry, how you feeling?
I'm doing better. How about you?
Good. Oh God, could be better.
Really?
Never mind.
I'm glad that none of us are as lifeless as the doll's eyes.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my girl. I love her.
That's funny. We've got a pretty good collection upstairs of creepy dolls, and whenever I get upstairs to my old bedroom, I go up there and back in the closet portion, I look and there's like a whole shelf full of them looking at me, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Looks a bit like Annabelle.
Oh, that's been a wild story because currently in the States, for those of you that don't know, Annabelle has been touring, and so at least one of the first stops was in Louisiana, and there was a whole plantation that burned down, and so they're of course attributing it to Annabelle being there and coming in. This year, when I am in Louisville, Lexington. Anyway, when I'm down for Scarefest, Annabelle is supposed to make a trip there. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see if there's any funny business that happens there too.
Take holy water.
So crazy. So how are you guys doing? I know, Mary, you said that you're doing better, not great. But Sherry is doing well.
That's good. At least one of us is all right.
Yeah. I am. So this weekend, I decided I'm feeling a little bit better, right? And so I was like, you know what? I need to help out. I want to be able to be of service, because I've been laid up and not able to do anything, and I'm feeling a little bit better. So on Sunday, I went outside, and me and my wife, and we had to weed the garden so that she could plant the butterfly garden and could plant some vegetables. And so, of course, I go out there and I pick the biggest spot, which was honestly not all that big, but I picked the biggest spot, and I'm like, all right, I'll take care of that. You take care of the smaller boxes. And I go over there, and there's a little rock wall there, and I'm leaned up against it, and I'm pulling the weeds, and we're out there for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I am completely wiped out, having a hard time keeping my balance. And so I sit down, and I'm still trying to pull out the weeds and stuff and trying to get it out of there. I get about 75% done, and then I decide at some point during that maybe it's a better idea that I just lay in the dirt, because if I just lay down, then I can't fall down. And so I do that, and then I reach for one of the weeds that's taller, and my arm gives out. I do fall down on my face, which was not bad. I didn't hurt myself or anything, but it was just, it's one of those moments where, everybody that sees me here on the podcast and hears me talk and doing, the different things, everybody's like, oh, Jeff's doing great. He's doing just fine. And it's not exactly the way that it actually is. There's a lot that goes into it. So we got done with that. We did about 45 minutes out there, and I was completely spent. I had to go inside because I had to sit down for like 20 minutes and drink some water and recover because I was just completely wore out. So
Mm.
the next day we decided to go and buy this fountain and get it off the marketplace. And we go and pick up this fountain, and we still haven't finished getting it working because we got to replace the tubing in it. But we get this fountain and we get it to the house, and we find that we have to buy a new pump for it because the pump is seized up, the old one. So we get one off of Amazon, and it ships to us within a couple hours. So we get the pump hooked up, and it's working again, but the tube, I think, is clogged. So it's just kind of trickling out. So we've got to replace that. But I'm messing with it and trying to finagle it and move it around and get this tube where it's supposed to be, you know. And about 3/4 of the way through that, I can't do anything anymore. My lower back is killing me. My head is hurting. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I went and I told OT and PT all of that, and they were like, all right, first of all, you need to be safe. And, that's the acronym for, stroke survivors. They're like, you're not out of the 3 months yet. And there is a high probability that you could have another stroke.
Oh
So
my.
you need to be really, really careful. Push yourself, but don't get crazy. And I pushed myself way, way too far. And so I've had to be recovering the last couple days. So it has been a challenge. They were like they were happy that I was out there trying to do some things and trying to help out, and then they were telling me that you need to slow the fuck down, Jeff, because there is no way that I could go back to my regular job and last 15 minutes right now. Not a chance.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
and so like now I'm supposed to return to work. Like my short-term disability runs out on the 18th of June.
Right.
I don't even have my eye doctor appointment to start the process to get me to drive again because I'm still not cleared to drive.
Yeah.
Is not until the 24th of June.
Wow.
So I'm going to have to transition into long-term disability. And then hopefully I'll be able to get, everything squared away, get approved to drive again. Oh, this is really funny. We went to the grocery store today, and I hopped up in one of the motorized carts, and it was my first time trying to drive again, right? Since all of this, I'm driving the motorized cart. And I understood what they meant by I have to be really careful because the stuff going past me was very disorienting, and it did. It raised my dizziness level by a good bit just being in the cart and moving it around. And I'm like, I can't imagine what it would be like to actually drive a car right now. There's a good possibility that it would be too overwhelming for me to do. So, you learn these little things about yourself when you're incapacitated. And you think you can do it, and you're okay, but it's a whole different ball game right now.
Well, what would they expect you to do at work? I mean, what could you do? I mean, that's really a hard thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, currently there's nothing I can really do.
Yeah.
So that is really what's challenging. But they give you 3 months and they tell you, hey, this is the date you're supposed to return back to work. Get yourself together, heal up, get approved, and go back to work. But it's just not possible. I'm going to have more time. So now I got to go back and work with the disability people and see what approvals they need, what paperwork I need to fill out so it gets approved.
Yeah.
Because it's looking like I may need, maybe a couple more months. I don't know. It depends on what the doctor has to say. And then there's no guarantee that I can get back to a level that's expected of me.
Absolutely.
I don't, at this point.
I would apply for that sort of this week, Jeff, because it can take 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So you know what to run out basically, because that's like what, 3 weeks or something.
Something I don't know. What
Yeah.
it is.
I'm
All right.
They want
Go
to
ahead.
go back at all, considering.
Well, that is up in the air still because once I get approved to drive through the eye doctor, once I get those final approvals and I take those tests, then I can go and apply to try to get my DOT medical evaluation. And
Yeah.
there's no guarantee that I can even pass that or that they will be willing to pass me because of my new medical conditions. So there is no guarantee, but I have to go through this whole process
Yeah.
before it's shut down. So I don't know. Anyway, enough about that sad shit. It is what it is. I'm doing my best to work through it. But for all of you out there that are watching, it is not an easy road, and I am far from recovered. Even though I'm smiling and talking to everybody, it is
Yeah.
very different on the other side. So
We have a saying over here, Jeff. Look okay, but feel crap.
I feel like that's what happens every time you go get fish and chips.
Yeah.
All right. But with that being said, we're going to talk about we really this month we have dove into the conspiracy and government cover up, UFO, that whole realm of things, and that's not going to stop because our next episode is with Tim Kelly, and we're going to talk about inventors and talking about UFOs and government cover-ups and all of that stuff. So we'll round out the rest of the month also talking about creepy crawlies and all kinds of things that may have been hidden here in the United States that people don't want to talk about, and people that have been silenced, and all of that. And I just did the interview with Tim. I want to say it was earlier, maybe last week. It was either Friday or Monday, one of the two.
Yeah.
But I did the interview, and he is just incredibly smart and has done so much of the research, like looking back into all of these alternate energy sources and things like that have been silenced because it is not a not a money making opportunity for the people that are in power. So we talked a bunch about that, and so that will come out next Tuesday. I'm sure everybody will get a kick out of listening to that and discussing all that. I've still got to go on there. He listed a slew of references like books and websites and stuff to go to get all of the information. And so I've got to go and put footnotes on everything so that we can get all that, so it's all compiled. And I may just send him a message and see if he can gather all that stuff together so that I don't have to go and look for it, because it's closer to him than it is to me. But I'm gonna look through it and see if I can't do that so that we can guide everybody if they want to dig in deeper. And then on Monday, I did another interview that will be coming out June 3rd, and that will go a little bit away from that, but we'll talk about big pharma here in the United States.
Big what?
And big pharma.
Oh, one of my favorite topics.
So oddly enough, another person that is from the East Coast and somebody who is a whistleblower, and all of this is going to be hitting the interwebs. There's going to be many, many interviews and things that are all going to come out on June 3rd. So we are also going to drop our interview on June 3rd. Her book will also be hitting. Her name is Lisa Prada, and I'll tell you the name of the book. It is called False Claims: One Insider's Impossible Battle Against Big Pharma Corruption.
Can I just say one thing? Okay, so, and then I'm gonna go slink back into my doll room. Let's say you're a researcher, right? and you find a cure for something obscure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what the pharmaceutical companies do, right? They buy it and then they take it and bury it because it's more beneficial for them to make the medications than it is to cure something. Okay, I'm going now.
Yeah.
So what's great about that is we're going to talk about that next week with the inventions that have been buried and all of these different things that have been people have created and found and discovered. And we get into a bunch of stuff about Nikola Tesla and a bunch of other people.
Perfect.
And then 2 weeks after that, we'll have Lisa on.
Oh,
And
good.
all of this information will drop about, you know, our own pharmaceutical industry and what's happening there up until the present. And so it is going to be a fascinating next couple weeks. And then after that, in the future, I have an interview that I'm going to be doing on June 6th, I believe. We just set the date today. And so that interview is going to be done with 2 other people. We'll have 2 people on for that.
Ooh.
But Bob Crane, do you guys know who Bob Crane is?
Sounds really
I've heard of the name.
Okay, so Bob Crane is a pretty famous actor. He was on Hogan's Heroes.
Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He's dead. However, there is a lot of mysterious conspiracy around his death.
Yep.
And so and it is still a cold case currently. So we are going to talk to the 2 people, or I think 3 people actually, that have written and, you know, they've written a book about Bob Crane and his life and his death.
Okay.
And they've done several podcasts and things like that. I think they're working on a documentary and things about it. And so they are coming on to talk about him and his life and his achievements and the mysterious stuff around his death. So we'll be talking about all that coming up. I then have, I'm sorry.
No, I said, this is good, Jeff.
And then we've got several other guests that are lined up right now that incorporate all kinds of different things. So yeah, I'm excited for the next several months and what is coming. And then, man, that is really weird. I don't know what is going on with your dog.
Has it been taken over?
I don't know.
What the heck's going on here? My baby.
I know.
Jeff, hook your REM pod up. You might pick something up.
Yeah. So, you know, with that being said, and all of that stuff that's going to be coming here soon, I'm excited. And then there are you 2, Mary and Sherry, who I have tasked with doing some things. And, you know, I decided that, you know, all 3 of us are on here at least every other week.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I've asked Mary and Sherry because they are, you know, watching a lot of these documentaries and following a lot of the court cases and stuff like that, especially when I can't, because like I've got so much stuff going on right now. It's difficult for me to get to that. It's difficult for me to sit down and go through all of that information. So like,
I'm bummed out that can't read. I can't take any of that crap.
Yeah. So Mary and Sherry, you're going to see here in the next couple weeks. We're going to drop some of those documentary reviews, case reviews, and stuff like that with Mary and Sherry. So I'm excited to see some of that. I don't know that they're super excited that I'm announcing that. And now it holds their feet to the fire.
Bring it.
Bring it on.
Do it.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, so, I'm gonna when I feel okay, I'm gonna do the Fred and Rose thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that is right up your alley. And you know so much about that case because you know you're from that region of the world. So that is something that's been present for a long time. You know, so it's much closer to you than it is to us.
And then things are happening in the next sort of couple of months. Donna Adelson's case is coming up. Kohlberger's case is coming up. I'll be watching that one. I'll be watching that one, especially Kohlberger. I'll be
Yeah.
watching that.
I don't know if you all can see.
Team,
what-
Team Alan.
Oh, look at that! Oh, hey, finally.
Did you hear about George Wendt?
Yes, he died.
Oh yeah, George Wendt
I
passed
was
away. Yeah.
sad.
What did
I
he
remember him. I don't know what he died. I just heard about it because I remember him for years.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh.
Everybody knows your name. Great show. But yeah, okay. So last week we had an episode and we had Paul Vecchiet on, and I didn't mention this to Paul, but he looks a little bit like with the bald head and the goatee. I can't think of his name now. No.
At least it doesn't look like Johnny Gacy.
No, he does not.
An actor?
Oh wow. Why can't I think of his name?
What was he in, Jeff? Because I
He
can
was-
you're not good with names.
He was hanging out with Sammy Davis Jr. and about every big name actress in the 70s, 60s, and 70s in California. Oh my God! He was also the head of the Church of Satan. Why can't I think of his name? Crowley is the only one that's Anton LaVey. He looks.
Oh yeah. Oh no, he was like creepy. I remember the episode on Ghost Adventures. They done it on where he used to say.
Okay, let's clarify that. Anton LaVey was creepy. Paul Vecchiet, not creepy. The non-creepy version. There we go. Let's clarify that first.
Thank you for that clarification.
I would not wish that on him.
No.
But anyway, that's hilarious. So I have the book.
Yeah.
This is Paul's book, Disclosure Paradox, and it is excellent. I read through it. It's a pretty quick read, but I also read pretty fast. And right now I have time on my side where I can read. So I read it in about a week. But it is the first book in a series.
Yeah.
And so I think they released another book that was kind of a prequel to this book.
Yeah.
And they're going to re-release that. And then there's another part that's coming out, and Paul talked about that at the end of the episode, where it talks about the different alien species coming to the Earth, and they're looking for something. And what they're looking for is the Shroud of Turin, and they are trying to get the DNA of Jesus because it, has implications for reordering and bringing the perfect DNA. And so it's fascinating that he's gone into all this research. And I mentioned this last time that we talked, that Paul is actually going to be going to the Shroud of Turin symposium and speaking there with the foremost expert on the Shroud of Turin. But that's in the next book. I'm excited for that to come out. I believe it comes out in the next couple months. I'll get that one too and read it.
I think if I remember rightly, he said October or something.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think I remember October.
That's what he said. Something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, at least I watched it. I don't need catch up. I watch it when it comes out.
Sherry obviously watched it too because she remembered October.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she watched it today because I noticed that you put the thing in the chat.
That's okay as long as it's fresh.
I like it. I'm the type that if I'll just watch it and then I'll forget about it. So
all Sherry needs to remember, and we love you, Sherry, is don't watch the shorts. Watch the long episodes.
No, absolutely. I found him to be interesting.
I quite enjoyed him actually, because I hope you get him back. I hope you get him back on. Because you know I like conspiracy theories and all that, and I believe the government covered up Area 51 as well and all that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So he in the book he gets into a lot of detail about all of these different things, and basically what ends up happening. There's a lot of very interesting like esoteric connections and stuff with different psychics and stuff that go with them. But he is, of course, the main character is basically his biography in the book, and so he goes through where he discovers all this stuff at this building at the Air Force Base here, close to me. And so they end up going out to where Area 51 is, out that way, out west.
Yeah.
And they go out and they go looking for this one place, and then they have to like break into it. And when they go there and they do that, they have to contact a bunch of different people to come and help them. And they form a little team that infiltrates this base. One of the people is I don't think they say it this way in the book, but she can affect things with her mind. So she's able to like turn off the cameras and stuff like that so that they can get into the base. She's able to trigger the different systems on the base so that everybody has to evacuate. And so what they're going there for in the book, and I don't want to give too much of it away, so just an overview, but they go there because what they're saying is that a lot of these women that have these certain experiences, their children have been taken. They have been impregnated. Their children have been taken. They may be hybrid children. And so they are stored in these labs where they're basically growing them, almost like the Matrix, right? They're growing them. And at some point, they're going to use them for research and study. And, they may get released at some point, but they go there to liberate some of these two women that are there, one of their children, or I guess two of their children. They go there to liberate them. And I believe they at least get one of them out, and then they save someone else. They find out more of the story. And then, they eventually have to escape from. Now they've gone from one facility through this portal to another facility to help this other person to get them out. They get them out, and then, they reconvene and things, obviously now everybody has a better idea of what's going on. And it is a pretty complex and fascinating story that has a lot of, you can tell from the episode itself, has a lot of spiritual implications, a lot of understanding of, a better understanding of what's going on in our world. And I was really, really surprised at this episode and how worldview shifting it was, because we all think we have this certain idea about how the world came to be, who's involved, why it's going the way that it is. And then there are other people out there that have a very different idea about how that happened and what is actually going on, who's actually in control. So a lot of those questions we talked about, and Paul has certain ideas because of the work that he's done and the experience that he's had. And so I think it is a great entry point into discovering more and understanding more about the world around us. That doesn't mean that it's all correct. It means that we all have more understanding to be had.
It's like sort of set on what you think is like normal or reality, blah blah blah, this type of thing. But I found with that episode last week, it makes you question what you thought.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
And that's a good thing, no. Like, it's got to be XYZ when clearly it's not XYZ, it's something more than beyond.
Yeah.
But spiritual, I'll get the tongue back in. Spiritual. You know what I'm trying to say? Spirituality. I believe in that. That is because every living person has an aura around their body. Every living, breathing person, including animals and what have you, they have an aura around, like a spirit.
Absolutely.
So I believe in all that.
So it's interesting because the book talks about that and how certain people can affect that and how they can help that. So it's really fascinating. They meet a huge, not a huge, but they meet a whole cast of characters throughout the book that help them figure out what they need to do and the path that they need to be on to complete the mission that they're on. And so I thought it was really fascinating how that's all laid out. And I've been, I mentioned we'll talk to Paul more and we'll have him on again.
Yeah.
But I need to ask him at some point. There is a character in the book, and I'm fairly certain I know who it is, like in real life.
All right.
Like the way that he describes that person and some of the things that they've done and things like that. I'm pretty sure I know who it is because for years I ran in the same circle. And so I'm wondering if I'm correct. So anyway, it's at some point I'll ask him, probably off camera, because it's not something that can be revealed because it was done that way on purpose.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated to know if I'm right or not. So anyway,
but are you getting,
probably get a message?
Well, I went on the Cryptics Live. And it's quite interesting. So I don't know if you want to do another thing on Delphi.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about that too, because I know you messaged me about that. About Delphi, and I did not get a chance to jump on. Cryptic sent me a message asking me if I wanted to come on for an episode, and I was busy at the time that happened, and I didn't have a moment.
I wrote a message in the chat because I says, Jess, he's doing okay. We're back doing lives again, but I don't think he understood that he thought it was something else, if you know what I mean. He didn't realise what does BK mean? He's gone, what is BK? And I just like BK for back because it's simple. But if you can email him at some point, because I think he's very keen on that. And a lot of people were asking about Delphi because I picked my usual Richard Allison. Why am I getting Richard Allison? Richard Allen is innocent. They asked me to explain why, because I believe that Klein is involved. And it turns out that he was sending money to one of the girls. That came on that live. If you get a chance to watch it, I'll put it in the chat. But if you get a chance to watch Cryptics Live, you'll see
it seems like that Keegan Klein was paying for pictures of one or both of the girls because they were busy selling a bunch of that stuff, and so there's always been talk that the girls knew that they were going down the hill because they were supposed to go to this barn, and there's this idea that maybe they were supposed to go to the barn to do like some kind of photo shoot where then they could take those pictures and sell them, like child pornography stuff. So, we know that Klein's family, and we also know that Ron Logan was involved in all of that. And that there was, some stuff that was found and some talk about that early on. But we've never understood how much they may have been involved for whatever reason or have gotten caught up in some of that. So, and of course it's hard because, a lot of people, the girls are gone and that's a shame that happened. But a lot of people are scared to, even bring some of that stuff up because then it may look bad on them or the families or something. But like ultimately, if that helps find out who did it,
Yeah.
You know, that's what needs to be focused on,
That
because
should be
that's the
that
real
should be
justice.
that should be the number one priority.
Yeah. And that's not saying that it's true, right? It may not be
Oh,
true at
yeah.
all.
Mm-hmm.
It may be accurate that they were going down there to look at the bunnies, or look at
Yeah.
the ducks,
Flowers.
or whatever it
Yeah.
was. Uh, they may not have known why they were going down there to
Yeah.
go to this shed or whatever it is. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know that for a fact, but
Yeah.
if you're going to look at it and you're going to understand it, you need to understand all those angles. And, it's sad because people get caught up in all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
all the time, whether
Well,
they understand it or not.
I done my plug because I mentioned the podcast all the way through the chat. And a lot of people says, "Oh, we've seen some of his stuff before. We'll check it out." Because I says, "Oh, you done 4 episodes on Delphi, so they're going to check it out." So,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like Cryptics. He does a really good
yeah,
job.
I love
He,
his intros, man. It's just
yeah,
his
his intros are
intros.
great.
But that
And
one with you, that was class.
yeah, he does a
Well
good
done.
job with all that. I don't know how he does all that, but he does a good job. And so hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to him,
Yeah,
and we'll get to collaborate a little bit more now that there's a little
yeah,
bit of time. But I still need to get caught up on a few things. Like
yeah.
I watched the interview or the interrogations of Richard Allen. I watched the
Oh, that was terrible.
his confessions. I listened to those.
That was.
But I have not listened to the Keegan Klein stuff yet.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
haven't had an opportunity to listen to that.
You like them.
So
You like
yeah,
them.
so I need to go back.
Very. How can I put? Very interesting and very revealing at the same time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I found. That's what
yeah.
I found from them. But I still think that lead cop needs to be investigated. Because that's 2 cases that are kind of suspect that he was involved in. At least
Yeah.
2, maybe more.
Yeah. Well, and then there's that talk about the fire too,
Yeah.
and all that stuff that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. So so anyway, again, Team Allen.
Do you think somehow, like, what I'm thinking about the Klein and various other people that probably will come to light in the end, I hope so. Do you think that was like a sex traffic ring they were involved in?
So I don't know if the girls were actually involved in that. I think that maybe they were being led towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that would have happened eventually.
Yeah.
I think what is really crazy is some of the stuff that I'm seeing that's going on right now.
Yeah.
With I feel bad for Kathy
Yeah.
and all the stuff that she's going through, and watching all of this stuff get leaked out that's not supposed to be out there, and all of this different stuff that is making it to the media before they're able to have any say or any voice in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's really like coloring what people think or how they feel about the case.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense side and Kathy, they don't have the opportunity to even respond to it before it's out there and have any say at all.
See that Judge Weiss, this judge, no shutting this down.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, she doesn't really bother anyway. I think she was in cahoots with the prosecution.
Well, we still don't know where this is all coming from, and I think that's the thing that's most difficult.
I think somebody's. Do you think that somebody's leaked that out, though, Jeff?
Well, that's the problem, and so I think that there is talk that it is and I don't know this because I've heard Michael Osbrook talk a bunch before, and Auger and everything. I've heard them all speak, and it doesn't seem like that they would do that. But a lot of people are pointing the finger at them that it's coming from their offices, all this leaked information. So So I don't really know what's going on there. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's true. I don't know if it's, if it's somewhere else that's coming out, but that is a real problem
Yeah.
for all of this. So, I hope that, they can figure that out and they can get a
Mm.
handle on it. And what needs to be released can be released when it's necessary, and
Yeah.
give them enough time to do the research and to go back so that they can, adequately prepare and do a good
Mm.
job when they go back for an appeal, because they're
And
going to need it.
in the meantime, that guy's sitting in jail, rotten, basically,
Yeah.
and it's shameful
Yeah.
because I've seen a few cases now that innocent people, have been in jail for like. I seen one. It was in jail for 35 years. Now you can get all the money in the world. It's still not going to get that part of your life back.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I was asking, I would love for you to get Astra back on, because I've just found that episode fascinating.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, for
really
sure.
interesting.
So it's funny. Not that this is on purpose or anything,
Right.
but the next episode with Tim Kelly, he had to use one of these. Like his camera wasn't working,
Yeah.
so he had
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
like he had to be anonymous too. So
All right. Oh God.
so I was laughing that had to be the case. So of course he didn't use a doll like Sherry. It was just a silhouette.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
Not all of us can be that fancy.
Yeah. I know. Sherry and a tech pro.
all right. So let me just that doll. My mother gave it to me in like 1970, and I used to take her with me.
Oh.
It was on the Underground Railroad, and we
Oh
were
wow.
slaves. We were going to the north. Okay, leave her
Can you
alone.
put Can you put some clothes on the doll, Sherry? She might
No,
be cold.
she's
She
in
might
her.
be cold.
That's my love kitten. She's
Or
been with.
even put a blanket. Give her a blanket or something.
I got to tell you, I'm not asking any questions. I don't know that I want to dig any deeper into that comment, Sherry. But
Yeah, so Jeff's probably
All right.
thinking Jeff's probably thinking 1,001 things right now, Sherry.
We were hiding from the bad men in the South, and they were going to come and get us and make us slaves again. I swear to you, that's what I used. That's how I played. Hey, everyone's got their thing. So that was
oh
my
wow.
save me.
Wow.
So I haven't had a chance to talk about this on air yet, but for those of you that are going to see the replay of this, I just saw today. I got an email from Richard Chismar. He sent out like his monthly email, and he said that
Yeah.
he's currently working on the Boogeyman book,
Ooh.
the third book in that series,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the first one was called Chasing the Boogeyman. The
Yeah.
second one is called Becoming the Boogeyman, and I don't know what the title for the third one is now, but it is a fictional account, but it follows like a true crime story, and he uses
Yeah.
all of the locations from his childhood and everything in the book, and I'm excited to see what this third installment has. So I sent him a message. I'm still waiting on the second volume. I got the special edition coming, so I'm excited for that to get here so that I can read that. But I've read Chasing the Boogeyman already, and so I'll be interested to see like what the connections are in the third one. So everybody be watching out for that, because Chismar has some great stuff out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something, Mary. Let me.
No. I'm just gonna say, Sherry. Oh yes, and you hear clack, 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 clack.
I'm doing a thing. It's not me. I'm listening.
All right.
No.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I'm going to read you the back of Paul's book, the little flavor text on here. It says, dive into the first thrilling disclosure paradox novel. In the vast expanse of the universe, many life forms exist. The question is changed from is there life on other planets to who are these other sentient beings and what do they want from us? Author Paul Vecchiet examines the frightening possibilities of otherworldly contact when a group of people find themselves sent on a life or death mission to save victims trapped in the human alien-run science labs in Dulce, New Mexico. Led by a former Army Ranger, each adventurer has a compelling reason or a spiritual calling to complete their assignment, while death or capture closely follow. With assistance from their guides and from benevolent beings from other worlds, the team of Ranger, civil engineer, and UFO researcher, Native American, former Air Force security policeman, and retired CIA asset conspire to breach the underground base. What they find in the labs is horrifying. What they finally learn about their mission, their species, Mount Shasta, and the greater universe is absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
So, check it out. It's good. Oh, so what do you guys got going on other than doing reviews?
I'm watching a lot of, like, I'm really into documentaries right now. So I'm watching a few of them.
Take
To be
notes.
honest. Yes. I'm like binge watching a few of them that I sort of like, oh, I must have missed that. So,
Boy, I'll tell you what, there's so many of them that come out every other week,
yeah.
and it's like, how do you keep
Oh,
up with them all?
well, there's a documentary on Alyssa Turney.
On who?
It's Alyssa Turney, remember about the creepy stepfather.
Oh, okay.
They found a body, but they're treating it as a Jane Doe now, so they're waiting on the DNA results.
All right.
But he knows what he done to that
So
girl.
I have another guest that's coming up that I need to promote. I forgot this was one of the ones that I forgot to mention.
All right.
But there is a Harvard journalist that I'm talking to
Ooh.
that is going to be coming on, and he is really, really involved in the Casey Anthony case.
Oh, yeah. That's similar to Alyssa's story.
So what's interesting about that is he is the one that broke all the stuff about the family being involved. And, so he's going to come on and he's going to talk about a bunch of that. I asked him point blank when we were on the phone together and we were doing like the pre-interview. I asked him, I said, so what did you think of the new Hulu documentary that came out that Casey Anthony was involved in? And he said that she was for sure lying on that documentary. That she lied most of the time that she was on there. He said that does not mean, what it means is that she was protecting somebody, right? And so it's interesting because like he does not believe that she did it. He also does not believe that OJ did it. He teaches classes.
Oh, no. No. I'm drawing a line there.
Really?
OJ done that. OJ done that.
So we are going to have some very, very interesting discussion on several different cases and some perspectives that we don't always hear. Now, there has always been talk about the fact that it may have been OJ's son that did it, and that OJ was helping to cover that up, that his son didn't end up going to prison for the rest of his life. So I don't know. I don't know that that's his viewpoint because I didn't ask him. But I'm interested to hear, and I knew Mary was going to make that face, when we started talking about that, because everybody has very strong opinions on whether Casey Anthony killed Kaylee or if OJ killed, Ron Goldman and Nicole.
Yeah.
So again, there are a lot of strong opinions out there. However,
well, put it this way, Jeff. I believe the two of them as guilty as hell.
However, we should always listen to both sides and carefully consider all of these different things, and then see where it lies, because it may end up being that it's very different from what we thought initially. Even though some of us are pretty set in our mindset. I've always believed that Casey Anthony is guilty.
Hands down.
I've always believed that OJ has been guilty. But, honestly, if it came out and there was new information that maybe I didn't understand before, or that, can prove to me, I might change my opinion. I'm not so set in my opinions that I can't adjust if there is better evidence, right?
No, I'm totally set on both of them. Totally.
Well, we know that.
Totally. I will not budge. He done so much shit to Nicole. The amount of bruises and nah. And then when he was in trouble, he's selling his stuff and what he done in that hotel room to the guys.
So in the other room, I have that book that he wrote. If I Did It, I have that in the other room. So,
yeah. Oh, he glorified. He glorified.
So
basically.
Anyway, that is coming up in the coming weeks. And we'll have some discussion about that, and then I will leave it up to you guys, to our audience, to decide what you think, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it, and we'll talk about it, and we'll see where it lies. We'll see if like, for example,
I watched an interview with the police cases, and I could tell it to me.
So,
and you need to stop the bullshit and just tell the truth.
Well, here's the thing. I also felt like for the longest time that the intruder theory was kind of ridiculous when it came to John Bonet. And then I listened to, we talked to, the one guy that, John Wesley Anderson. We talked to him, and he completely convinced me that there was something else going on there. I've talked to several people, when we talk about Jack the Ripper and Sir Francis Tumblety, and they changed my opinion there too. And so it's like, I'm not, if there is evidence out there, if it's compelling, if somebody has put the pieces together and can prove that, I'm willing to look at it. I'm never so set that I think that it can only be one way.
Do you know that she done a lie detector test and the results were inconclusive?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So we got a lot of interesting stuff coming up here in the near future. So you guys just hold on.
I'm just waiting for the part 2 of the JFK thing. I'm waiting on that. Like,
I might make you wait a little while for that.
That's all right. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I don't want her to stroke out. There's already one of us.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready. Forecast. But as the you remember you were going to get that guy on that's basically going about with somebody else's show, the show thing. He was meant to come on. Is he coming on, or is he too busy raking in the money?
Are you talking about Russell Edwards?
Yeah.
So I haven't talked to Russell in a little bit, mainly because all this stuff happened with me. But I need to hit him up, and him, as well as oh my goodness, H.H. Holmes' great grandson. I need to talk to him again and get him on. But it's been so crazy since I've been out. So like a lot of those conversations kind of fell off. But we'll get back around to it. And we'll have some conversations.
It just means that you're kind of set for the rest of the year on guests.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then you do your Christmas thing.
For
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, I'm
That was
looking
fun.
forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us on this off day. Thanks for coming on, Sherry and
Yeah.
Mary, and talking about all this stuff. We will be back on next week. Will be our next episode, and then we're going to have to shift the live after that so that we can drop everything on June 3rd for Lisa Prata. And then we'll be back to our live show after that.
Yeah.
We'll have plenty to talk about. Actually, it'll be good
Yeah.
because we'll have back-to-back episodes that are following the same kind of theme. And then we'll come and do a live on both of those, and we'll be able to talk about all of it at once.
we'll have
Yeah,
fun.
that'll be good. That'll be good.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
Two
Well,
for the
thank
one.
you guys
Two
so
for the
much.
price of one.
For
Two for
sure.
the price of one.
All right, y'all. Well,
Okay.
have a good rest of your night. I know it's late there for you, Mary.
Yeah.
But you know,
11 o'clock.
yeah, when you all get a chance, do those 10-minute reviews. Send them off to me, and we'll get them ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
Okay.
All
And
right.
you take it easy, Sherry.
Yeah. All of us need to take it easy.
Yes.
Myself
Feel
included.
good. All right, guys.
All right, y'all. See y'all
Okay.
later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.